Hi, welcome to today's video. We're going to walk through accessibility testing today. I think this is a really important skill for testers to have in their toolkit. It'll allow you to find easy to find bugs, and it's important to build an inclusive web and mobile app experience across your digital platforms. Here in Australia, 1 in 5 Australians live with some form of disability. There are 4.4 million people around the world that have some form of disability. I've even struggled with elements of disability myself. I broke my ankle and couldn't walk for 12 weeks, and that really helped me experience what it's like to navigate around on wheels firsthand. Also, in Australia, you have a chance of getting sued. Not that I'm encouraging lawsuit-driven development, but if you don't build an inclusive web experience or accommodate people with different abilities, you have the risk of getting sued. So for example, the Commonwealth Bank in Australia last year got sued because their Albert terminal was inaccessible by vision impaired users. If someone walked into a cafe and they were trying to pay for their coffee with their card and required to enter their PIN, if they were vision impaired, they wouldn't be able to see the keypad and enter their PIN. So it's a bad experience overall. And we're just avoiding getting sued here. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. Accessibility testing doesn't need to be hard, and if you focus on screen reader use, font accommodations, grayscale alternatives, and alt text for images, you'll get like a good return on investment of providing a more inclusive experience. It's a great step towards that, building out that great customer experience. So first of all, let's talk about the accessibility inspector that comes with Xcode. To launch the accessibility inspector, you go to Xcode, open developer tools, and the accessibility inspector is right there. Now I have a simulator open at the moment, and I'm just going to walk you through what the accessibility inspector can help you test. I have it over here. So if you're experimenting with screen reader technology, if I press this play button,
sign into your iPhone, set up iCloud, the App Store, and more button.
So this is Apple's screen reader technology. If you're on iOS and you enable the screen reader, if you do a 2-finger scroll up, you'll read everything that's on the screen. There are a lot more guides in how to use screen readers as well, but this will go through just each element.
Accessibility, private password maps, passwords and
Another option you have with testing for accessibility is font accommodations. Generally, the first thing people will do when they hand a smartphone to an elderly family member is increase that font size so it's easier to read. The accessibility inspector in Xcode comes with this pretty cool tool where you can just pump that font up right large and see how your app responds with that. So there are a couple of overlay bugs that might come if you increase the font too large. There's also sometimes on tiny screens, if you don't have a scroll view, some views can get stuck as well. So just keep an eye out for that. Another thing you might want to do is test for grayscale. So I have QuickTime over here. I'm using QuickTime to share the screen with the Mac, and I have accessibility shortcuts enabled such that when I press the side button 3 times, I get accessibility shortcuts down the bottom, and I can enable VoiceOver fairly quickly from doing this. If you're not used to using VoiceOver with an app, it might be worth having the shortcuts to make it easier to navigate. But I can enable color filters, which puts a grayscale on my screen. Now you can't see the grayscale on my monitor, but to give you an idea, it looks a little like that. Also, this is one way, if you enable grayscale on some of the apps you use, this is one way to make them slightly less addictive, because color is associated with certain psychological feelings and can create more addictive behaviors in mobile apps. So I'm just going to disable color filters there. So we've talked about font accommodations, using screen readers, and testing for grayscale. The next thing that you might want to look into is alternative text for images. So if you have a website or an email that you're sending out, you can create alternative text for the screen reader to be able to read. So for example, if I had a meme come to the dark side, we have cookies, in an email that I was sending out, I can create, I can give that image alternative text using HTML tags, and the screen reader will still be able to read that information. If you're using alternative text for images, you don't need to say image of, because the screen reader will already say that that is an image. So you get a double whammy. The screen reader will go image of, image blah. And that can be annoying from a customer experience point of view. So yeah, that's just some of my tips for adding alternative text. But hopefully you realize that testing for accessibility is not particularly hard. It's a really useful skill for testers to have, and it'll make you an inclusive champion on your teams, and you'll be able to drive towards a more inclusive experience for everyone on the web. Thank you.